Okay, so today we are going to look at some of the features of advanced report where we will see how we can create a custom field in our report. So let's go to our all custom report. Let's say all custom report. And let's continue and to build our report that we built earlier and make some changes to it. And again, always keep in mind, my opinion towards the report is that it is going to satisfy a query or a requirement that you have for reporting, for a data set that someone needs to see. I believe this was our report, employee CF data test. All active and terminated workers. And I believe, yes, this was our report. So this is a temporary report. Let's turn off the temporary off of it. So let's go to edit. And advanced and okay. Why not? Why not? Why not? Okay. Okay, let's create a brand new report. So create custom. And let's say I want to see changes of employees, say, in the last 90 days. So let's call it CF employee change. The last 90 days. And I want to use the advanced report. And I want to use my object as all workers. So basically, I'm looking at active workers. Let's say I want to start with, say, employee ID. And the worker itself. And let's say I want to have the preferred name as well. I'm going to change the object from worker to preferred name. And from preferred name, I want a pseudonym. Name. Let's say. Do I have anything that requires a full name? First name, hereditary, middle name, name in general display format. All right. If they have a pseudonym, it'll come up here. Okay, and I am trying to track changes for the worker. I'm going to use a multiple set of objects. So let's say history, work history summary as my object. And I want to know who initiated the change. And in the worker history, I want to see, let's say, the date initiated. So when what was initiated, what was the effective date of the change, so we have the initiated date, initiated and effective date. And now I want to see, let's say, the business process as to what was changed. And let's say I want to get their center current. So what was the current cost center, the time of change? And say if they are changing cost center proposed. And let's say, okay, from the history summary, I want to get the supervisory organization manager, who is the current one in the worker history summary and who was the proposed one. So from worker history summary, if I look for manager, so I don't have the option for current managers or proposed managers. So when I don't have this option available, I would need to create a calculated field for that. And the way to do that is if I go to the object and then create calculated field for report, click on this. So on the worker business process object, I am trying to create as a calculated field current soup org manager, and this is going to be an LRV lookup related value. So if I select LRV here, I have a lot of options of functions available here. Aggregate related instance, if I need to do arithmetic calculation, build date, concatenate text, convert currency, convert text to number, and so on. So evaluate expression, format date, extract single instance, extract multi-instance, increment or decrement date, lookup date, rollup. So depending on what you're trying to do, you have a lot of options available for your functions. Currently, we are looking at LRV, lookup related value. So in here, what I want to do is for the worker whose history we are looking at, I want to see the current supervisory organization for the worker as of date on that day, the supervisory organization prior to this business process. And in here, from this lookup field, I want to know who was the supervisory manager. And what this field will do, the manager for the supervisory organization, if there's more than one manager assigned, a single assignment manager. So I get this. So now we have created our calculated field. And from the worker history, it'll do an LRV. So it'll find the object for supervisory organization current and give me the manager, the supervisory manager's name. Now, similarly, this is for the current manager. So let's say, now I want to know the proposed manager for the proposed supervisory organization where the person is going to move. So keep in mind, I'm tracking the changes for workers in 90 days period. So that's the purpose of this report. So let's go ahead and create another LRV, lookup related value. So now CF proposed soup org manager, LRV, same business object. I'm going to select lookup related value. Now in this case, I will look up the field supervisory organization, but proposed. Earlier we had current. And I'm going to say supervisory manager. And we are going to call this, we're going to put the heading on it just to make things simple. So if I don't put the column heading, it'll put up the same. So let's keep it like this. Okay, and let's look at, okay, I think we'll come around to the next type of calculated field in the next round. So now let's go back to our filters. And what do we want to filter in? So I want all the active employee to show up here because we are tracking changes for the employee for all the active workers. So I'll put the filter, say active status. So what is active status? Let's have a look at the three dots. So return yes if the worker is active as of the report date provided. So I'm good with that, active status. And now I am going to put the operator, let's say equal to. And if I select this checkbox where you specified in the filter, it means yes. So when an active status for a worker is yes, they will be included in the report. So that's what this filter means. Let's say I want to select the cost centers. I'm selective of my cost centers. So I select the field cost center, say, and I want to select it from the list. So in the selection list, value specified in this filter, and then I'll have the list of all the cost centers. So let's say, for now, I'm going to select all of them. Or let's say, do we have CEO? Okay, Office of the CEO, Human Resource, HR. These are to HR and IT. Let's say IT operations, service management, TECHNOLOGY. Admin, do we have any administration? Operations. All right. So I've selected this. It's cost centers that I want to run the report in. And now, as I want to get this data for a particular date, so let's say hire date. Is greater than equal to, and I want to have it in the last 90 days. So I don't want to use a date. I want this to be dynamic field. So value from another field and today minus 90. Do I have a field available? Today minus X days, and this could be a prompt. So let's convert this into a prompt. from the user and say prompt 1. And let's go to prompt and let's set up our prompt. So currently I don't have any prompts here. So if I click on this, populate undefined prompt default, so it should pull up that prompt that we just created. So hire date prompt 1, say determine value at runtime. Today minus X days. Let's see what does this field has. This should be an increment or decrement date type of field. So the current date minus the specified number of days, workday delivered, and let's see if I can make a copy. Now let's create another calculated field. So create calc field. Let's call it, say, today minus 90 days. Let's make it a global field. So it's not specified to any business object. So it's globally available. And it's going to be increment or decrement date. The date field is going to be, say, today. And months to add or subtract. So we want to have 90 days, or we can do by days. Let's do it by days. Minus 90. We have the minus 90, and what does this mean? So this is a numeric constant. So minus 90. And I want to say if there's an error, just return a blank date. So it doesn't error out on the report. So with this, what we're doing is today minus 90. So the date field is today. Days to add or subtract. And my subtraction is minus 90. And again, minus 90 is also a calculated field, which is called numeric constant or text constant. So you can see numeric constant is negative 90. So let's copy this calculated field that we created, and now we can use this in our report. And no default value. Let's say I don't need this, so we can say do not prompt at runtime. Let's go back to our filters. I think we have one blank one, so let's remove that. All right, now let's try to run this. I think we should put another filter because in the last 90 days, it'll get all the business processes. Anything and everything that has happened on the worker will show up here. So let's go ahead and test it and see what it looks like. So in the test mode, I'll get 10 records. The hire date, see, it's gone back 90 days. The 12/9/2022. And here you see the initiator. So for the worker, employee ID, worker, name in general format. Then the initiator, who initiated the business process, when was initiated, what was the effective date of that change, the business process type, the cost center, current proposed, current manager, who was the current manager, who is the proposed manager. And there's a lot of changes, right? So what I want to do is I want to limit my report to the changes that I want to track for the employee changes that are required. For example, from the worker history summary, object, this is object on the report, worker history summary. And here, from the worker history summary, I want to identify or limit the business process type. So it should be field on the report because we have already used it. So business process type, say in the selection list, and now I can define what business process I want. Say change job, say move worker. Let's say compensation changes. Propose compensation change or request compensation change. And let's say I want to also include leaves. So leave of absence, return from leave of absence, and time off. Request time off. Okay. So now we have identified 8 business process types that I want to track within this report for each worker, right? Let's rerun our test case. So here we can see for Mr. Ram Sharma, the change of the proposed compensation, when was it initiated, what was the effective date. So all these changes happened on the same date for this person. But again, this is just 10 records. Now let's go ahead and run this report again and run it because this was a test. And yeah, let's keep the hire date at 90 days for now. So what we are getting is only 11 items. So let's change the date to say 0101. So let's bring the whole last year as well. Now we have 23 items. So for these people, something else changed except for our report, but they did had a change. That's why they're showing up here. Let's go back another year. And let's look at our filter. So hire date is greater than or equal to prompt 1, and our prompt 1 is today minus 90 days, and we've gone back to 2 years. Okay, so not too many changes for these workers. So let's go ahead and remove the limit of the business process that we put in. Rerun this report. Now we can see like higher proposed compensations. And most of the transactions in the business process or the worker history are on hire and proposed compensation, and they should be on the same day because proposed compensation hire is part of the hire process. So, for this person, you can see change organization assignment, the cost centers, what was the current, what was the proposed. Let's go ahead and make another change. Let's remove the restrictions from the cost centers as well. Let's go to filter. And let's remove this. And I think in the subfilter, as we don't need this, let's remove this as well. Now let's run the report again. Now we see 316 items. Now let's limit this to a little closer. Let's run it again with a default prompt, which is for December 9th, 2022. Because we have removed the limit, there's filters for the cost center and the filters for the business process type. We should be seeing more activities here. You can see some change of activities going on. Or again, Ram Sharma. Let's do one thing. Let's make a change on one of the workers and see how this report is behaving. Right? Let's do it live. So we go to one of the workers that we had in the reports, like Anthony Dave, HR Ops. Let's say, let's promote this worker. Let me just make a note of the employee ID. And for him, we are going to do a promotion. So action, job change, transfer, promote, job change. I would like this to take effect on the 1st of January. Okay, let's say last Monday. Okay, so this is updated on 09th today. Fine. Let's say for him, it's going to be a promotion. So who is the current manager now? Anidas. The same manager. Same manager's team, I would say. Right? Job profile, let's see, HR ops. What else do we have? Let's say HR manager. Next. Location would remain the same. The details of the worker, full-time, part-time, that's fine. Management layer is 6. And then attachments, none, organization changes, company cost center, let's say it remains the same, TMS, cost center, say it's going to be HR, the region is going to be states, and any other organization, let's say no custom orgs for now. Okay, compensation. And let's say we add the salary for the new position. Let's say let's give him the maximum base pay range 155,000 USD annual, and no need for hourly pay and other allowances. I'm just going to skip it for now. Summary of what we are changing, and then go ahead and submit. If I look at the worker history, so this is unassigned. The promotion, let's go here, reassign the task. Let's say I'm going to reassign it to Logan. It should now go through the approval process for Workday. Promotion day, let's say receiving manager, it's going to be this, proof. Success event has been approved. Any other steps that are pending? Okay, manager's manager. Reassign task. Logan McNeil. I think there's an issue with the business process that it's again and again going to unassigned, whereas it should go to manager's manager for approval. But as it didn't go, I'm reassigning it to Logan so she can at least complete the process. So this is review by manager's manager. They go ahead and approve. Again, it's going to unassigned task. So it was supposed to go to HR partner. again. Crap. Okay. So the compensations change step. It should have gone to compensation partner, but most probably on the super, none of the roles are assigned. Come on. Look in Synbox. Proof. Come on, be the last step. Yeah, finally. So now if you look at Anthony Dave, his title should be changed and he should have a new compensation. But it may not happen. Oh yeah, it did. See, HR manager, again, supervisor organization the same, and he's the certified. Look at the compensation. So it should be now the compensation is packages management, 155,000 allowance, and there he goes. Right now, let's keep in mind that earlier, this is the change that was showing before. So let's make a copy of this. Let's duplicate this report and let's get our employee copy. Let's filter it by the employee. As you can see, our report is showing the data for the employee. He was hired on the 9th, but then promote employee inbound, change organization assignment. And these are the changes done today. And who initiated it? Logan McNeil was initiated. So this is what we did today. So with this report, it is tracking changes within the last 90 days for an employee. And for this, we created a couple of calculated fields where we had the current and proposed. And also like we can also get, say, worker history summary, say, like the current base pay and proposed base pay. So we can see the difference there as well. For example, say worker history summary, base pay current, and let's say base pay proposed. Hmm. Base pay, why is that? Why would that be? Why would that be? Because of permission, I doubt it because we are logged in as Logan McNeil. But if I look at the compensation, let me look at the compensation. So what is the total base pay coming out to be? Ah, that's why. The total base pay is coming out to be 0. Whereas his location address is Chennai, but his base pay is in USD. So what we need to do is when we worker history, when we did the promotion, we need to correct that. Promotion HR manager. So let's say Dallas. Salary plan is 155,000. So I think one of the components is not working correctly because total base pay should not be 0. And what is the compensation grade? See, compensation grade is valid for okay. So in the compensation change, this is process. Let's correct this. Let's assign a grade profile to him. if something is messed up in the compensation package. Otherwise, the location and the grade profile should fix or should populate the total base pay. Mhm. This compensation package has some issues. Anyways, if I look at Logan McNeil's, compensation, you would be able to see, oh, even for her, the total base pay is not coming, total pay. There's a royal screw up here somewhere in this compensation package. Hmm. Well, in the report, the field that we're using is total base pay, which should be this field. But let's say, let's try to edit this. So this is salary and allowances. Uh-oh. This is not going to work. So I may need to go into the tenant and fix the mess up that is here for the compensation package. The total base pay is basically the field that should be used for your current and proposed calculations, which is coming out to be zero. So I need to go into the compensation package and try to fix whatever is going on. But apart from that, basically what we are trying to do is, with this report, what it is satisfying is tracking the changes within the last 90 days for employee changes. And in this report, we created a couple of calculated fields. We use multiple objects in the object, like we use worker, preferred name, we use worker history summary. Then with the worker history summary, we took the business process initiator, date initiated, effective date, business process type, then base pay current proposed, cost center current proposed, and then we wanted to see the supervisory manager for the current and proposed, which we took from LRV. Right? If you do get a chance, please try to replicate this report in your tenant and try to make some changes on the workers that you may feel appropriate, like Logan or Steve Morgan, and see if they're showing up in the report or not as an assignment. So this report is available to you in the tenant. So CF employee changes 90 days. And let me tag this as CF as well. Or right. Any questions so far on report creation and how do we do the filters, the prompt, and the calculated field like the LRV that we created? I'm sure a lot of them, but unless you practice, you won't be able to get the hang of it. There might be some of you that who have already used Workday reports in the past and you're very comfortable with it, but some of you might be new. So please do practice and let's come up with questions tomorrow, and then we'll continue with our outbound integration.